Streaming now. .com. Marco Morales. Official. Copy. Tweet. Facebook. Okie dokie. My desk is a disaster. My desk is a disaster. All right, everybody. This place is a mess. It's a complete mess. This place is a complete mess. Okay. I'm going to wait for people to get here. My hair's looking crazy. That's okay. I've got my dinner. I've got my Monster. I've got my cologne that I spite funded. We're going to have a good time. God, my hair's... Who's texting me? Yeah. All right. God, I've been having so much fun on Twitter yesterday and this whole, like, since we've last chatted. And also some not fun. We're going to wait for people to get here. We got, says 47 people here so far. Oh, good times. It's also, I gotta tell you, it is so interesting to watch how people think and express themselves on... Who's texting me? God damn it. I want to talk about red pilling. And I had a very annoying exchange on Twitter. I'm just going to give a sec for... Okay, 100 people here. I had an annoying exchange on Twitter. And I rarely... Oh, let me show you guys what you spite funded. Okay? So... Spite funding, I'm sure most of you know at this point. Thanks, Bill. Love your material. Thank you, Joey. That's very nice of you. It's cotton. Yuck, 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 yuck. Spite funding, for those of you who don't know, Tom Woods loves porn. Changed my mind. Yeah, can we talk about this? I don't understand. There is this... It's embarrassing to see, or it should be embarrassing, where if someone says, well, I think marijuana should be legal, oh, you're a pothead. What? Or, like, I think prostitution should be legal, oh, you're a pervert. The drugs, prostitution, and porn, prostitution is the easiest one for me, and I've convinced many people of this, because those are the women who need to be the most able to call the police. They're the most vulnerable, most likely to be targeted as assault and violence. They have to absolutely have access to security. Like that is, and if it's legal, then you can minister to them. This is, to me, of the three, the easiest to advocate for, by far. And it has no commentary on the morality or the desirability of prostitution in society. Like these women are the vulnerable ones. It's very easy. Okay, cheers, Michael. Thanks for being here. Okay. And the other thing that people can't wrap their heads around is you'll say, I think this has positive qualities. Well, what about all these negative qualities? It's like, yeah, if you have a car, it drives you places, plays your music, looks cool, costs a lot of money. So yeah, just because something has a lot of costs does not mean the benefits are not real. And often, the costs outweigh the benefits, which is true. But that doesn't mean the benefits don't exist. And for some reason, it's like, it's these conversations. I wanted to have a Twitter poll. What issue are people the least able to understand the other point of view? Because there's some issues where it's zero empathy. And abortion's a big one. Like, there's just no... Oh, you just want to control women. No, they don't. Oh, you want to kill babies. Oh, okay. And the guns are another one. Any signed copies and you write? No, not yet. Hey, Annika. Guns are a big one. Porn is a big one. This is and transgressive humor. This is the one I couldn't. Okay. Anyway, spite funding. So spite funding is when some dipshit comes after me at Twitter. I will say, hey, it would be a shame if people send me money just to spite you. And they do. And the rule is it has to be spent on things of no utility, just waste. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, you're just a grifter. I'm like, no. They're not getting anything out of this, nor am I. I don't want this shit. This is shit I don't really need. Here's something that was spite funded. This pen was made out of a mammoth's molar. I don't need a 7th pen. It's kind of cool. It's very cool, but I don't need it. How often am I using a pen? So, wait, hold on. I missed the super chat. I ate a whole bottle of red pills on accident. Should I contact poison control? You're from the West Coast, because on the West Coast they say on accident, and the East Coast they say by accident. No, you should just, if you drink a whole bottle of red pills, the trick to fix that is to drink a bottle of bleach. It cleans you right out. You just got to chug it. Keep it up, the devil's work, and happy belated anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Okay, speaking of the devil, one of the things I spite funded was this cologne, aftershave, excuse me, from the 70s. It's called Devil's Potion. Let me see if you guys can see that. It was not expensive. It was like 20. How much was it? It was, let me see how much. I think it was like $30. It was not expensive at all. Yeah, it was $30 including shipping. So it says an aftershave potion for devilish men. I think they mean sodomites. And on the back, there's a little story. It says, there's a little of the devil in every man. I think they mean semen. But most men could use a lot more. Because if you're not good, life can be dull. But if you're devilish, life can be interesting. Yeah, that means sodomy. And the devil's potion can bring out the little devil in every man. Love the newest book. Can't wait for more from you. I'm working on the book proposal now, and it's very slow going because I am having too much fun on Twitter. Devil's Potion is an aftershave lotion. Aftershave is they did a line return. It was AF-TER. That's very weird. Different from an oh god, this is so funny because a committee sat down and wrote this. The Devil's Potion is an aftershave potion, different from an aftershave lotion, since you don't have to wait until after you shave to use it. Use it anytime to bring out that little devil. Take it from the Devil's Potion, an aftershave potion for devilish men. Why would devilish men need the Devil's Potion, right? You would kind of be devilish already. As with all aftershave lotions, the Devil's Potion is for external use only. That's in the same size font as the rest of it. That's pretty interesting. Keep out of reach of children and avoid use near open flame. We know what that means. So here it is. I like the cap a lot. And I like the label. It looks like a scroll. It's from Pfizer. And I smelled it. The cap's pretty cool. I smelled it. And gotta tell you guys, hey, Simon's here. It just smells exactly like Aqua Velva. And Aqua Velva is a scent that people don't really wear anymore, but it's actually a pretty solid scent, which I enjoy. So thank you for the Devil's Potion. Okay, so, oh, and in this price it says $2.50. So it's appreciated in value enormously. So I don't know if you saw that. So so let's talk a little bit about red pilling. I'm going to take a step back before we get to red pilling. There's a term called concept creep, which is a useful term because it means how concepts tend to lose their specificity over time as they become used in popular language. A great example of this is how NPCs, until recently, would refer to everyone who's a loser as an incel. And they would tell Donald Trump Jr. he's an incel because it just means it just loses its actual meaning, right? YouTube just shut down a stream for talking about the, well, I don't want to say that word now. I got shit to talk about. So, concept creep. So that's the term. So concept creep has also applied to red pilling. There's concept creep and there's people who just are stupid or ignorant. Red pilling has never and is never and will never mean republicanism. No one, this is not what the red refers to. It's not red pilling. So it's this, and then when you see people using this, it's just like, oh, I'm red pilled, I'm going to vote Republican. Okay. Which, that might be like the most blue pilled statement. Like, if we vote Republican, America's going to be saved. That is like as blue pilled as it gets. What red pilling red pilling applies to specifically is from that documentary, The Matrix, and it's the idea that what we see presented to us in the media and in popular entertainment is in fact a carefully constructed narrative designed to keep some very unpleasant people in power. That's all it means. Now, often you'll hear people be like, well, you can't be red-pilled in X. Yes, you can. Because once you have certain information, what you do with it can go in infinite ways. And let me give you a very easy example. If you find out that your wife is cheating on you, you can, all these things happen. You can look the other way. You can start cheating on her. You can kill her. You can kill the guy. You can confront her. You can hold it till later to blackmail her. There's no A arrow B that, oh, if you're red pilled, then you're going to do such and such and such. And I got into it with someone on Twitter because they said, hey, do you think Ben Shapiro is red pilled? I don't know Ben. I've never interacted with Ben. And I don't like getting into beefs with people. And I'll get into that in a second. So people are like, oh, well, if he was red-pilled, he wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. And let's not use Ben specifically. Let's say Ben. You have no idea. None of us have any idea of knowing what, if someone were red-pilled vis-a-vis the media, they would do with that information. Here's some scenarios. The person could be being blackmailed. The person could be bought. The person could have cognitive dissonance. There's a million things. Or the person can think that this narrative is necessary and it's a good thing. There's infinite scenarios. Or the person is blue-pilled. You don't know. Because they're like, oh, well, if he's such and such, sure, there are certain tendencies that might be true, but Ben or anyone else is one data point. One data point. So you can ascribe it to maybe groups like, oh, all those people pushing this, and this. Okay. But on an individual level, are you kidding me? This is not, and then some start arguing with me. And it's like, oh yeah, sure. Like, it's impossible to know what he thinks. I just listen to this radio show every day. I'm like, wait, what? The whole point of a red pill is the claim that what is presented is carefully constructed. So by definition, if you listen to someone's radio show, that is not the red-pilled aspect of it. That's the blue-pilled aspect of it. Only a blue pillar would tell me not to take the whole bottle. I denounce your common sense red pill control. Take as many as you want. Someone asked me and I said, do what thou wilt. So who knows? So it's just, and the thing is, I don't think it is useful, and this is why I don't have beefs with people. Even really because there's no point in getting in it with an individual, in my opinion, when you could go after the ideas. Because if you get rid of, let's suppose, who's particularly terrible, like Max Boot, there's another Max Boot to take his place. So that's the thing. And also I got it. This is very rare, but I've had people come for me or talk about Tom, and other people are like, oh yeah, the reason they're doing this is X, Y, and Z, and this is unusual, and other people who are fans will be like, holy shit, you think you know this person? Like, how are you acting like you know this person? It is very, very, very weird to me, and very, very blue-pilled, that you see someone's public persona, which is a reflection of them as a real person, by and large, but to have this feeling of intimacy is being blue-pilled. Absolutely. So, yeah. That is that. And I think it's also, I avoid calling someone disingenuous unless I have absolute proof and can help it. It's perfectly possible there's a crazy person. It could be a million things. Max Boot, I will call disingenuous, and here's why. Because Max Boot said, I was just doing research, and I found out that Barry Goldwater was an extremist. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. Barry Goldwater's quote, this is like the people who were like all of a sudden on the left shocked that Richard Spencer was saying anti-Semitic things. It's like, how do you know who he is without knowing that that's his ideology? I still don't understand how you could know that name. How do you know him as? So I still can't reconcile that. So yeah, that's the deal there. And it's, again, working somewhat in media and talking to people, it's just jarring to hear people say with a straight face things that you know aren't true or are. And here's another example of this. And this was just disturbing, and I retweeted it. Tom Woods, who some of you know, the very failed podcaster, FPS Russia just got out of prison for half an ounce of marijuana. Apparently, his gun collection that got confiscated is worth $400,000. That's horrific. That's horrific. I don't know what you want me to say, but obviously I think that's despicable. I'm a very much a gun right person. Going after the individuals convince the people who aren't able to think abstractly about the ideas themselves. That's fair. That's fair. I just personally don't do it. That is fair, and there's something to be said for that. I just think on a personal level it doesn't, because I try to get along with everyone. And here's an example. Anyway, so someone came for Tom, and Tom Woods' Twitter bio says New York Times best-selling author. And the person replied to him and go, oh, you write for the New York Times, so blah, 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 blah. And I sat there, I'm like, holy shit. Like, this isn't something someone whispered to you or you're in a speech. You read, I'm so glad I got here in time for the Max Boot bashing. Oh, yeah. You read Tom's bio in black and white. It's one sentence. Not even a sentence. It's a phrase. It's not even, it was perfect syntax. And you read it, and you still couldn't perceive fact. And this is another example. To this day, people will talk about that me and Scott Horton hate each other. There's a feud, that there's a beef. We got into it once on Twitter. He deleted the tweets. We have never interacted before or since. And it's this mythos. Oh my God, they hate each other. I can't speak for Scott. I don't hate Scott. I don't know Scott, and Scott doesn't know me. So it is, and this is another reason. I'll give Owen credit. Owen Benjamin's another one. I mentioned on a live stream, someone asked me if he's in the book, and I said no, and I go, oh wait, yeah, he's mentioned once. And Owen texts me, and major credit to him. He texts me, he goes, someone said to me, you're talking shit about me in the book. Is that true? And I'm very glad I go, no, you're mentioned once. Here's the quote. He's like, okay, thank you. I don't know if this person was trying to stir trouble, but who the fuck knows? I would honestly bet that they just had that toaster in a bathtub psychology that so many people have. It is very, very weird. All right. Whew. What else did I want? There should be more people here. Stay classy. Oh, stay classy is always sarcastic. I'm trying to be classy. Any networking tips if you're new and without experience in industry? God, that's a great question. Don't mind me. I'm just going to recommend you check out a playthrough of the No More Heroes games. Okay, let me. I'm going to put that in a separate window. Got that. Thank you. Oh, no, this doesn't. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not looking. This is horrible. This is all Japanese style. I don't like that shit. I hate that shit. Okay. This is a great. Any networking tips? Okay, I have given talks several times for autistic people, libertarian events, on how to work a room. And I have a whole system broken down for those of you who are on 11 on the spectrum. It's such a subject fraught with depth. Fuck. Yeah, you know what? Here's an easy one. This is a low-hanging fruit. Obviously, get experience. And thanks to social media, engage with bigger names and develop a following that way. I think that's an easy way to do it. I mean, that's the simplest advice I can give you, but it's a long, long, long process. What does that say? Scott Horton is a raging anti-Semite. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just got back from the gym, and boy, my arm's tired. Okay, so let's also talk about this. This other thing. Transgression. Okay. Whew. Okay. I talk about this in my book. A lot of people, transgression is when you use art or humor or performance or something to be provocative. Okay? And in internet culture, this is very known. And it is... Sometimes it's hard for me to wrap my heads around people who are like, how are you falling for this? Because you should know better. So a lot of times... can we talk about the... let's talk a little bit about the Nick Fuentes thing. This is the other thing that got me really, really fucking annoyed. Tom Woods, the very failed podcaster, one of the things that drives him crazy is when people are coming for me on Twitter and I'm playing dumb, which is always, because I am, and they think they're owning me, and I'm playing along. Like yesterday, someone was trying to tell me about anarchism, and I'm like, "What do you mean anarchism? How would they have roads?" And they're explaining it to me, and they're just going and going and going and going. And this drives Tom crazy. He's like, "I cannot live in." This is his quote: "I can't live in a world where these people think they're smarter than Michael Malice." Fine. And when you have any group, you're going to have leaders, and you're going to have. I don't want to say followers in the sense of they're weak, but just like people who are fans or whatever. And then you're going to have like complete mouth breathers. And what's funny with the Groypers, or with any of these populations, you're going to have the distribution. Recently got the Zoologist Elephant Shaving Soap from Chiseled Face. Definitely the best shaving soap I've used. Love the shaving soap Instagram. I'm finished with the shaving soaps tomorrow. Or Tuesday, excuse me. So it's funny because some of these Groypers see me and they think, oh, we got a Jew, we got a live one. I'm going to come at him and I'm going to destroy this Jew by asking him if he's Jewish. And I have to bite my tongue because at this very moment, if you go to my Facebook, the photo is of me showing my adorable little nephew the oven. And I can throw this back to them in their face, but I can't, because then I'm trying to seek validation from an idiot. And I don't mean an idiot because they're anti-Semitic. I mean idiot because they think me and Ben and Jon Stewart are all basically interchangeable, which is just baffling to me, but fine. That's their perspective. And it's also funny when some of the other groypers who are not low verbal IQ are like, dude, you've got the wrong guy. This is not what you think it is. But I have to sit there and bite my tongue and be like, I can't fucking throw this in your face. So yeah, it's that is a little bit annoying, to say the least. Anyway, so transgression. So this really kind of blew my mind. So the people who understand passing around Hitler memes and Holocaust jokes as a meme. Now, there's some who are Nazis or whatever the contemporary equivalent would be fine. But there's some who are like, all right, this is really going to upset a lot of people. I'm going to do this to upset a lot of people. Right? So these are different phenomena. There's an overlap, sure. That same group, there was a drag queen in a bar dressed as a pregnant woman. And she took a butcher knife or a long steak knife and was stabbing her stomach to this crowd. And they were like, oh my God, evil is real. I saw someone retweet this. And I'm like, okay, let's take a deep breath. This is a dude in a bar full of dudes. None of these dudes will ever get pregnant. They're going to fuck each other. They're going to get on drugs. Sure, you can look down on that. No matter what goes and where, none of them will get pregnant. None of them are going to get an abortion. This is them making you flip your shit, just like when you post your Holocaust jokes, you're getting people to flip your shit. And you would think this group would understand that that's what's obviously happening here, but it's the same clutching at pearls that they themselves solicit and receive. So I was like, oh my God, I don't get how you don't get that what's happening here. Good fucking Lord. And I don't, it's hard for me to understand people who enjoy and appreciate specific edgy humor when someone's using it, even if you don't like it or think it's funny, don't see it for what it is. Hitchens' critique of Mother Teresa felt like the ultimate purple pill. Both sides were equally offended. Well, I think Hitchens' shtick, I want to use their shtick, but his whole deal is to be needlessly provocative sometimes. Nick Fuentes wears the devil's potion. Is that true? Maybe he does. So yeah. All right. Whew. Oh man, it's been half an hour of me ranting already. What else did I want to... King Mike, what is the first law you're changing? That's a great question. What would be the first law I change? Can I abolish public education? Would that be one? What's another? What would be a first law I would change? That might be a big one. Probably. Or maybe I would have mandatory gun ownership. Those would be up there. And I'm gonna say this just to upset people. Mike, I got blocked from you on Twitter, but I've never tweeted at you. Who the fuck? Why am I? See, this is what's amazing. Who's Mike? Why am I Mike? I don't even know you. Do you just block people who say stuff you don't like? What's the rule? I have a lot of rules. One is if I see someone's feed and this happens a lot on Twitter. I'm not saying this is you. I don't know. I don't recognize your name. And their entire feed is just being obnoxious, and just you're an idiot, you're an asshole, dumb bitch, like it just aggressive banality. I'll preemptively block them. If someone is spoiling trolls, I'll block them. If someone, there's a lot of also feeds like here's like a lot of people follow me because of my work, would probably be called racist or anti-Semitic or homophobic, whatever, and that's whatever. I'm it is what it is. If your entire feed is about that, that's all you use Twitter for, I'm not interested. And there's a big difference. There's a difference between people who talk about these issues and blah, 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 and people who's like, I'm just here to be aggressive about these issues and antagonistic. So I don't know which of those applies to you, but it's, yeah. How many more years before you ditch the CDs? Oh, I'm a hoarder. So it's going to be a while. 700 people here. Okay. Here's the other thing with the whole Nick Fuentes thing. I don't know Nick. I met him once. Who is the most prominent person you can think of that you have no intellectual interest in having a conversation with? That's interesting, because a lot of prominent people you would be like, what's it like? Kim Kardashian, maybe? She's extremely prominent. I wouldn't have an interest in talking to her. Angela Merkel. I really would not have much interest talking to her. Who else? Mike Pence would be low on the list. I think that's the answer. So yeah. Whew. Wait, what? I was just talking about something. Oh, with the Groyper stuff. I was kind of surprised is that they didn't see what happened with the Proud Boys. And there is a system in place. They have implemented it, the cathedral, basically, of, all right, when you have a quasi-organized group that's going to fuck shit up, we are going to take steps in place to marginalize and destroy them. So, so when this shit started blowing up with Charlie Kirk, I'm like, do you not think that there's not going to be an enormous pushback, not from Charlie, but from the system at large? That's what it was surprising to me. Thoughts on Douglas Murray? Yeah, he was going to do my show, and he couldn't get the visa. So, yeah, that was very annoying. So that was unfortunate. So, yeah. And it's happening now, is my understanding. Didn't Nick get kicked off of he got kicked off of something, right? Like YouTube, I think, just recently. They're going after him. No, the Apple Store, they kicked him off. So yeah, they let me talk about the next few guests we have, which are really, really exciting. Laws, you were going to say something to annoy. Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, I don't mean this, I'm just going to say it's to trigger you. Yeah, the first thing I would do is have open borders. Is Arthur Herman still coming on? Yeah, let me explain what's going on with the show. So I have had a lot of people who are in town last minute. So I have, what are your thoughts on Tariq Nasheed going MAGA? I guess Candace Owens was right. She is the Ayn Rand of our time. Fuck, what was the question before that? Shit, Arthur Herman. Okay, so I've had a lot of people. Are you gonna get that 2,500 leather book set spy funded? No. Oh God, I don't like things. You could get the. Okay, this triggered me. So what Julian's referring to is Vox Day, is reprinting a set of books from 1918 as a Kickstarter. Okay, and for 2,500 you get a leather-bound set. I hate leather-bound books. I hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them. Okay? Number one. Number two is I hate, like, distressed like, T-shirts. Like, they should be naturally. You should put in the work. So those books he's reprinting from 1918, you can get the originals from 1918 for that price. And more power to Vox Day if he can, provide a service. I'm not begrudging that. I'm saying me as a book collector, I would want those 1918 books, not the reprints. That's my 2 cents, personally. Was the meetup after Charlottesville you were uninvited from? Well, I was never invited to begin with. To the same meetup where Spencer was losing it. If so, were you glad you didn't make it? Well, I don't know. I don't think we know where and when that was where Richard was losing it like that. I certainly, I'm glad I wasn't in that room because I'd probably be regarded as kind of, I wouldn't want to be the scapegoat for what was happening in that moment. So I don't know where and when that happened. And I don't think it was because I think what I was not invited to, what they said, don't bring the Jew, was some kind of, maybe it was. I mean, it's certainly plausible. So I have no further information on that. When is Lyle Chip Chipperson coming on? I wish. I lecture on the cathedral, the evangelical left, and culture in a university setting. I use your material on Moldbug. Some students are not happy. Thanks. Thank you. Fuck them. Fuck them. So... all right, so this is done. Now I'm on to my monster. Whew. Oh, so I had a lot of guests coming in last minute. I have taped already Heidi Matthews, whose show I was on when I was in Toronto, who was really, really fun. David Petruzza has already been taped. It is such a good episode. And Arthur is still being taped this Tuesday, but since Jack Posobiec was in town and it was very timely, the Arthur episode is going to be bumped, but we are taping it on Tuesday. Jack's going to air on Tuesday. Do you want me to reveal like the big guest that I'm most excited about? This isn't a big guest to you guys. It's a big guest for me. It's no one's heard of this person. So there's a guy one of my all-time favorite books is called Reagan and Thatcher, The Difficult Relationship. And in fact, it's the only time where I have written fan mail to an author because the book really, I thought it was just so superb. And he replied with, well, I've read one of your books. This is high praise. I'm like, oh my God. That was a very cool moment. So he's coming on. I'm really, really excited. Richard Alice's name, talking about Amity Schlaze never got back to me now, talking about that book, Reagan and Thatcher, The Difficult Relationship. And I recommended it. I just wrote a piece for The Federalist, 10 books every conservative needs to read. And Lisa DePasquale was really really smart about it because she goes, yeah, no one like a lot of people need to read these books because they don't understand the point. Because it's like, people are like, why haven't you read why isn't Thomas Sowell on this list? It's a list of books that conservatives wouldn't think to read. Not books that are by conservatives and for conservatives. Hitchens didn't try to provoke with his Mother Teresa piece. He challenged the notion that Mother Teresa was beyond reproach. No one else would scrutinize her. Okay, Autism Speaks. Let me explain something to you about Hitch. When Bob Hope dies, and that very day, Christopher Hitchens writes an obituary titled, Has Bob Hope Ever Been Funny? That is intentionally provocative. Okay? You can do both. You can challenge a notion that someone's beyond reproach, and you could do it in a provocative way. These are not contradictory things, because the logic is, well, this is bad, this is good, therefore he's only doing the good thing. He's doing both. He's known for doing both. Isn't the point that you hate what you buy with it? What? No, the spite funding? I don't think so. Any words of comfort after my latest breakup? He was a blue-pilled lefty poli-sci professor, so it never would have worked. It'd be a shame if there was a rape accusation against him. It'd be terrible. Why don't you do more political panels? You kill. I don't really like panels that much. I'm not... yeah, I'm going to be on Buck Sexton's show Friday. We're recording that. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough for me to kind of share the stage because most people don't bring much to the table. Even if they have the good ideas, they don't know how to be engaging about it. So it's a problem. No, but thoughts on Moldbug's crypto Calvinism. I'm not that familiar with that aspect of his thought. So yeah. I don't really have any. I've emailed him back and forth with about his latest article. So I'm glad he's writing again. He obviously has been a lot of overlapping thought between me and him. So he's a good dude. He's very, 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 very smart. Obviously. No, it's not obvious. Sometimes people you would think in real life they're not that smart. He really is that smart. Oh, God, that monster's hitting the spot. God, that monster's hitting the spot. Okay. What else did I want to discuss? How great is it? How great is it that it looks almost certain that Tulsi Gabbard is going to outlast Kamala Harris? Isn't that great? It makes me so happy. She's such a horrible... And I have like triple the Twitter followers of her press secretary, Ian Sams, and I fucking at him every single day. Hey, Ian Sams, how are you going to turn around your pig boss's failing campaign? It's really, really fun. It's really fun. Oh, what else did I want to talk about? Fuck. Train of thought. Oh, God, this is another one. This is what's really funny. Holy shit. Guys, last night on Twitter, I have never broken someone's brain as hard as I broke this dude. I don't remember his name. I'm sure. Well, you have Camille Paglia on at some point. I would in a heartbeat. I mean, she's my number one probably get that I would want. He deleted the tweets. Some cretin called, came from me on Twitter, and he had such a fucking meltdown. I've never seen it before. And he was just hitting... Kamala Harris has the black vote locked up. Yeah. She actually doesn't. She's way behind even... Biden has it locked up. So she's got no constituency. So thank God. One laughable moment at the class. Students proclaimed that all the readings are conservative. Called you out by name that you are conservative. Let me send you this tweet to send them. That's another thing. When I was defending that drag queen, people were like, oh, this is modern conservatism. I'm like, okay. Sure thing, guys. This is what it's come to. It was really funny when people were telling me, using my quote against me, conservatism is progressive and drive the speed limit. I'm like, progressivism started by fighting degeneracy. It's not... learn your fucking history, people. That's... Luke, send them that tweet of mine. Thoughts on the Spanish election results. I'm going to cover it tomorrow on Nightshade. Whew. Will the Groypers... I got the joke. It's not funny, and it's not original to you. You people fucking stupid? Holy shit. Now explain to me how yours should be spelled. Oh my god. Will the Groypers have a significant effect? Well, I don't. They are. I think already they're changing the conversation. Maybe not them. I think they are. I think that what needs to be seen is the counter reaction, which is going to be very, very severe and harsh, and it's going to be coming from the left and from the right, which is trying to get Trump reelected. So it's going to be fire and fury. Good times. What was I saying? Okay, so we have Arthur Herman coming on. Dave Petruzza has been taped. We've got Richard Aldis. Jason Stapleton taping on Sunday. And let me see who else. It's such a long list. What's this? Hold on. What percent of Alex Jones's claims are true? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not familiar with his claims at this point. I've been on his show a few times. I discuss it in the book. Someone, what's his name? One of my followers with the Burt logo, I retweeted this. It went pretty wide. That said, Pizzagate aged better than Russiagate, which is true. Oh, God. It's just funny when people... good times. Good times. Oof. Yeah, I mean, I talk about this with Posobiec on the show, which airs Tuesday, about the pedophile stuff. It's like the problem with Pizzagate was the address, and you have the New York Times talking about these crazy people think there's this elite pedophile ring, and it's like, what? How is that even remotely crazy? Jesus Christ. Oh, that Twitter guy. Yeah. So, oh God, I've never seen anyone have a meltdown like that. Like, it's just absolutely crazy. I don't really have anything to say about it, but I was sitting there, holy shit. And he's just telling people to kill themselves. This one's disgusting and you're horrible. And he's like, oh, you guys are all bullies. And it's like, and he just kept tweeting at me, and I just sat there, and he kept calling me these very weird names. You're a gamma nerd, and you have other people fight your battles for you. And I'm like, I put this on my Instagram. I go, the person who has the battles fought for them is the alpha. What do you? And I listen. I've worked with Ultimate Fighting champions. I know a lot of Terry Shappert's been on my show. Good guy. I know a lot of people who are like alphas. None of them say, I'm an alpha. They don't talk like that. No, who talks like that? It's so weird. And you would think someone would have the self-awareness to be like, you don't have, if you have to tell people you're a badass, you're probably not. And you know what? You know how you know you're not a badass? Because you're on Twitter. There's no badasses on Twitter. Maybe the president. Maybe. Fair enough. Hitch was not merely trying to provoke them. I'm not saying he was merely trying to provoke them. I'm just saying that he phrased things in an intentionally provocative way, which is great. This is me talking. I certainly am someone who knows how to be provocative intentionally. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't think he was an empty suit. He's a very bright man who had convictions, and I have one of his books. I thought it was right in arm's reach, and it was not. No One Left to Lie To. So yeah, he was, what he was great about was he was a heretic. He would have points of view that no one else was putting forward, and he would make people think. So the thing is, he's a. Where's the book? It was right here. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Who cares? No one cares. Okay. Whew. Good. 800 people here. let me just go through the guests we have coming up, and you're welcome. I'm having so much fun with the show, it's not even funny. I don't know if that sentence actually makes sense. Let me see. Okay, I named them all. I just have 2 slots left to fill. Hopefully one of them will be Camille Foster, who I heard from recently. Whew. All right. God, there's 800 of you. Okay, I think that was everything I really wanted to cover. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, Camille's great. Camille's absolutely great. Which Democratic candidate would you want to have a beer with? I gotta tell you, I think it's Biden. Like, I think watching this, I think he'd be really fucking funny to talk to. I mean, he'd also have some great stories about working the Senate. Biden probably would be it. I'm going through them. Do libertarian comedians care about joke IP theft? I should hope so. Yeah, of course. Yes. Would you have you had Donald Jeffries on your show? I don't know who that is. Let me look him up. Oh, this luck. He died. Well, he died. This looks like hidden history in the sci-fi. Okay, no. I don't. Oh, okay. I see this guy. He's good. No, he's not big enough. I don't think. Sorry. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to go put on some aftershave. You know what's funny about this? I just noticed this. Look, Stapleton is solid, but did he pay to be a guest? No, he did not. No one's ever paid to be a guest. I love how it says an aftershave potion for Devilish Men. Not the. It's just one of several. All right, guys. I think I'm getting all shiny. I'm going to call it a night. I will talk to you all soon. How much to be a guest? For you, Cody, it's not happening. Exactly, we agree. You have to check out the clip on YouTube when Hitchens was on C-SPAN and asked about his favorite whiskey. My favorite Hitchens moment, I'll be glad to talk about this, is when he was... thanks, Sam. When he was on... and I'm sure there might be better moments, when he was on Bill Maher's show. And he was insulting the audience, but then he said something else where they didn't know how to react. And it was this brilliant moment of him showing that they were NPCs. Because he was just like blah, 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 like giving them fuck you. But then they didn't know what to do. And it was brilliant. And I was like, holy shit. This guy's really fucking gets it. So, yeah. That was my favorite Christopher Hitchens moment. Because there was a moment where their NPC programming broke. And they were looking for... like they didn't know what to do, and it was like, oh shit, this is what it's like when you pour water into their circuit boards. It's just great, very, very interesting stuff. Yeah. Whew. I also, but the thing is, I gotta tell you, I'm not someone who's big on shitting on people the day they die. I don't. Did you see Lang on Rogan? He'd be great for your welcome. Lang who? Yang? I don't. I think you mean Yang, right? No, the L and the Y aren't next to each other. Who's Lang? Oh, Artie. Oh, yeah, they taped that at the Gas Digital station. I haven't watched it. Yeah. No one calls him Lang. They call him Artie. Literally, that's the first time someone... there's one Artie. One. I've never heard anyone call him Lang. I don't think I've ever sat through an entire Joe Rogan, including my own. They're so long. No, wait, there's got to be one I've sat through. I don't think there has been. All right, I will... Oh, here's the other thing with the drag queens. This is just progressivism and leftism is the idea that if something exists, it has to be for everyone. I am very, very, very opposed to this concept. I am not a universalist. I do not think if something exists, everyone has to be able to participate. That is reprehensible to me. So, just because something is not for everyone does not mean it doesn't have a place. And having Chippendales or strippers read to children is horrifying and inappropriate. That doesn't mean that Chippendales and strippers shouldn't exist, and it also doesn't mean that Chippendales is something to do with progressivism. These are not the progressive ethos, as I discuss in my book, is the claim that the personal is the political, and there's nowhere you can go that's outside the purview of politics. And that's a totalitarian faith. And that is very, very, something I'm very, very, very opposed to. And so when I see tradcons buy into this, I'm like, okay, you recognize, I'm not saying this is their argument, you recognize that in politics, it's not a good idea to play on the turf that the left set. Why are you letting them do that culturally? So I think that's a mistake that is being made. And I think just because something is completely inappropriate for children, which there are many things, and those lines need to be thick, and it is a slippery slope, and it is very disturbing, that doesn't mean these things shouldn't exist and don't have a place. I don't agree with that at all. All right. I am bouncing. Yes. I will talk to you soon. And tomorrow we're going to have a very, very fun episode of Nightshade. Okay, talk soon, guys.